Okay, so let's continue our discussion. This time, uh, let's have sample problems para ano ta, ma-apply itong concepts. Okay, so we have a total of 1, 2, 3, 4 problems, and I hope these problems are exhaustive enough to cover the majority of the concepts that we have discussed. Okay. So first problem. This is theoretical problem because this is not actual, unlike this one, this one, this one. Okay. So we start with something that is very impractical, wasting this abstract or theory. The particle moves counterclockwise on a circular path of 400 feet radius. It starts from a position which is horizontally to the right of the center of the path and moves so that the s, this is the arc as defined, it's the arc distance in feet and t in seconds. It moves so that s is equals to 10 t squared plus 20 t. So that's the behavior of the displacement function of the particle, which moves in a counterclockwise in a circular motion. No, it's not the uniform circular motion because inunahan ng function s. Okay? The question is compute the horizontal and vertical components of the acceleration at the end of 3 seconds. Okay, so let's go to the one note. Let's get some drawing. It's problem 1.5. 1.51. So according to sa given, we need to draw a circle. Tumangga. Okay, so that's the path now. The particle moves counterclockwise. Pero nag-start at the position, from the position which is horizontally to the right, to the center of the path. Meaning, direction is start horizontally to the right and counterclockwise. Ayos na. Counterclockwise. Kamu lang yung direction. Pero ang inibudo, ang distance dito ang S. Ang S is the arc. That is the distance that it is not vector. Meaning, distance is ano siya, curve siya. Ito yung vector straight na. Kumbaga yung origin, ari kag unconventional yung iyang ginamit. Ano ba sa normal yung positioning sa object yan in x and y. Naka-refer yung mga object sa simple draw back. Na-define din siya ang x yan kag y na-project din sa x and y axis. Wala siya na-project yan na sa pag-gate naman yung origin mo sa nga frame. What if we another frame of reference which is derivative? So ang yung measure some distance per from the another original. But actually, if you think of it, wala mo dito nalain sa ining straight. So, essentially, doing warp lang doing warp in space. But technically, this na S, for instance, which is given, is 10 t squared, 10 t squared plus 20 t. Ang initial law, which is R. Natin nga na yan, nagigit nga siya na project curve. So kung may bra ka another frame of reference mo, which is S ni wave, support M na O. Tapos na yun yung 10 t squared plus 22 is siya, base yan. So mo rin ako, ganun case here, wala mo laging curve ng horizontal axis. With the same as that, I cannot put it in other words. But essentially, they are the same except that one is in curve mo lang. Let me explain myself. Okay, so ano tong dito? 400 feet radius. So, balikan na lang siya dito. Complete the horizontal and vertical components of the acceleration velocity. 3 seconds later, that's the report. So the report is AX and AY at 3 seconds. I'm gonna record. So let's examine what we can do with the given, which is S is equals to 10 t squared plus 20. Let's analyze. Ano siya? Ano siya S? This is R. This is the distance. Yes, this is distance because in this point of view, arc siya. But kung i-derive mo siya, ds dt, which is 20t plus 20, you can just say that this is just speed. Since speed is distance over time, because they are displacement over time. Pero kung i-derive mo siya, kung siling ka lang na speed na siya, then you miss the point. Speed na siya from another point of view. But if pare ko diyo, para sa dalang tao, so atong hambal huli na bilang or i-bend mo siya straight, then wala sa difference sa d or dt velocity, wala sa difference for dx dt or dy dt, because in this case here, by definition, ang x is straight and y is straight projections sa position R sa x and y. But in this case, yung curve lang siya, pero kung i-bend back mo siya straight, then wala sa difference sa dx and dt. Therefore, it's not speed. It is velocity. So, really, naka-project na sila sa curve na line. So, this is an interesting problem. Hindi masyadong siya yung concept. So, this is velocity, okay? And velocity by common sense is tangent. Therefore, whatever the value it is at that part, at that distance from this origin, tangent na siya. You can derive it further again. Because by definition, this is velocity and velocity is tangent. If we derive it one more time, it becomes acceleration, diba? But there are many types of acceleration. Parang wala niya which type it is. We derive which is 20 na lang. Ano na siya type of acceleration? Yes, it is acceleration. But ano klase ng type? Is it normal? Is it tangential? Obviously, hindi siya normal. Kaya normal, kaya fixing yung formula which is v squared per r. So, masaling ka, by elimination, that should be normal. Pwede mo na siya method. But aside from by elimination, wave answering, since tangential velocity na siya, kung i-derive ng tangential velocity, then it must be tangential acceleration. Okay? So we now have AP and V. Okay? Ang muna nakuha ta. Muna na max out ta by this given. And let's see what we can do to lead us to AX and V. We just utilize one given. We apply na time t is equals to time t is equals to 3 seconds for these three functions. So S at 3 3 squared 90 plus 60 is 150. So that is the distance. That is the distance. And by definition, and straight definition in displacement, KPJ is straight line. So from point O to a new point, ang mga natin ng straight line is displacement. Now, the velocity, although this is not required, pero ano siya, mas kailangan siya. Kahit ano to. 3 plus 1 for 80. And of course, our tangential acceleration is 20, independent of time. Okay, now we have this string. Let's project this onto the graph. Now, ang given to is 400 kilo ang radius, 400 feet. So how do you know di na siguro ito na arc? Let's apply some formulas algebra. We know that arc or region is r theta, degrees here by our angle over 180. Okay, so we have the arc from 150. So this should be 150 feet because feet to siya ang days in seconds. 150 feet by r is 400 feet. Then we would get the theta. Karami at the sound, sense of direction, hindi na siya sunod, or orientation. So theta is equivalent to sudah naik record. Yay, record. So theta is equivalent to 150 times 180 divided by 400. That should be 21.49. So balik sa graph. Ano pala siya? 21, gamay ko lang. 21. Arit lang natin particle. Kaya ko na ako magsasabi ng arc, the radius. Okay na. So we know the equation of the particle. We can project now the velocity of the tangential acceleration. And then let's see kung siya kita ng x to y component sa acceleration. So let's change color. For the velocity, ay mo ko lang green ng velocity. Velocity is tangent, which is 80. What do I put sila? 80. That will be okay. So for tangential, that is 20. So tangential that you won't command drill. So 40 addition, get. Mamaya natin nga 80. Sila na. Ay, sila. Ito ba na isang value? At ang V, positive siya. Therefore, we have the same direction. Ito na 80. Okay na. Next, what about normal acceleration? Normal acceleration, we can also for normal acceleration. AN supposed to be squared over R. B at that point is 80 squared by 400. So our normal is squared by 400 is 16. It's a little less than 80, which is 20. So ito naman is something AN. Alright, so nakawan mo ang resultant ng acceleration na rin para sa susunod sa curve. It's because of the component na normal. Hindi pwede yung resultant A mo, hindi susunod sa curve. Okay na, we have AN, we have AP, the magnitude. But we don't know the AX and the AY. Yung AX and AY yan, may direction yun. Acceleration ba, vector, must be both magnitude and acceleration. In this case, ito, may projectile natin yung axis. So, look to X and Y. We have AN and AP. So there are two ways to solve this. One is bound with an resultant A by first summing AN and AP, and then once you get the angle, which is not equal to theta, then mag-graph ka lang sine or cosine component to get the AX and AY. Pwede ba? O pwede ba hindi ka na mag-have to that sa resultant acceleration, skip ka na, dahil sa kanila sa AX and AY. Okay. No, hindi siya ma-base. So, yung so muna na, i-project na lang ang data. Ang data niya, siya diba? Siya niya. Geometry na di at work, ha? Siya na. So, may reference na ko para sa normal. May vector, may arrow, tanga AN. Pero nakabalik sa iyang angle. Na nakita talaga, may ang theta, the same na. So, pwede ko na magamit ang theta magpa-component sa x, y. What about sa AP? Since AP is perpendicular to AN, this one is also theta. So, may sense of direction natin sa AP to AN, and we have naman magnitude for both. So, we can really solve na may pwede siya yung column na. Hindi lang ako bisa ito. For the AX and AY. Tayo na sa AX. Well, AX is horizontal component. For AX, that is equivalent to negative AN cosine theta, then negative man, because negative man siya kayang AN kag A theta ang ilang horizontal components para pawala sa kanya. So, ginanahan ko na ng negative AT man, but this time niya hindi siya cosine but sine. What about AY? AY is ang AT lang positive, ang AN ka negative, downward siya. So, AN, that is negative, but that should be sine. And for the AT, that is positive, but ang angle should be cosine. All right, this is the finale. We just derive equation for AX and AY based on our graph, and ato na plot, of course, based ato na given, utilize the given in plot, and then derive the AX and AY. So let's solve AX. AX is AN is 16 cosine 21.49 minus 18.20 sine 21.49. So for AY, negative AN is 16 sine 21.49 plus 18.20 plus 21.49. 16 times. Yan, bibigyan ko lang po din. 150 to 20 So negative 16 cos minus 20 sine this is negative 22.21. The unit is feet per second squared. And for the AY, negative 16 sine plus 20 plus, this should be positive, 0.75 feet per second squared. So these are the answers. So natawag mo ang AX is negative. Kaya natawag yung component sa component dahil sa resultant na yan. Component yun. Pari mo lang mo. So this is AX negative, sige pa wala. AY is positive, may pataas. So that confirms sa atin. So negative 22, tapos gamay 12. Gamay sa mga babago. So this is the answer. Right, so first problem, but global has gamay. Pero okay lang na. Namin siya yan.